Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I'm your host, the Housecoat Gamer. Today we're taking a look at the Intrepid-Class. Featured in Star Trek Voyager as her hero class design, and a result of an environmentalist deciding to, force a starship's redesign. The USS Intrepid was commissioned in 2370, but had to go back into Utopia Planitia after said environmentalist decided to blow up her ship in the Hikaris corridor, creating a subspace rift. They decided, okay, how are we gonna reduce the damage? Oh right, the Intrepid. Vectoring her warp nacelles actually works to reduce the damage. Okay, we'll start retrofitting. The first ship that was actually built to the same standards was USS Voyager, NCC 47656, under the command of Captain Catherine Janeway. Now, a lot of people here are going to be going, oh god, Janeway. Well, in defense of her, she was in the Delta Quadrant. She had no contact with Starfleet Command. She had to think of her crew, not the politics. So of course she did some questionable decisions. She has, of course, paid the price for those decisions by getting promoted beyond her usefulness. She's stuck at Starfleet Command. She's not going anywhere. The Tier 4 version of this ship, of course, is the same as always. It sucks. It also includes a few new designs. The blocky and, I'm just going to admit it, disgusting Cochrane. I mean, look at those impulse engines. That's just excessive. The proper Discovery. Oh god, this ship deserves deserves some work. Try and make it a little less ugly. And a Tier 4 retrofit version, which includes a photonic explosion console, based on an episode of Star Trek Voyager where the Doctor fires a phaser burst at a photon torpedo, causing a photonic explosion. Not bad. It's a very, very viable tactic. Explosions often make things interesting, to say the least. Stupid bloody thing. Again, this is why I don't do scripts. There we go. This is the Retrofit Tier 5 version, which includes the ablative generators console. I presume everyone remembers the Batman movie from 1989, where the Batmobile suddenly gained armor. Well, essentially the same thing here, except with technology. It's less ridiculous than it seems. Of course, it does come with the downside that you can't use energy weapons, even though theoretically it is possible if you have certain breaches. For example, you don't need armor around the phaser strips. There's enough room for a few phaser bursts. There is a fleet variant of this, which can also mount all of those consoles. In fact, to the best of my knowledge, you can only mount the Intrepid consoles on the Fleet Intrepid. Stupid bloody thing. Which evens it up, but it's still not great. As for the ship's model history, originally that saucer section used to be flat on the bottom. Again, they've gone through many many graphical changes over the years. At the beginning, it was close enough, good enough, and none of us are really complaining about that. Then the graphical updates started hitting. The first one was Delta Rising. The second was during the anniversary event. The 10th anniversary event, that is. Speaking of the first one, the Intrepid also has the distinction for being one of the first Tier 6 ships, with the Pathfinder, which also includes launching... See that? At the bottom, right near the front of the ship? That's the Aero Shuttle. Long since unused by our good friends at Voyager. So many chances to use the captain's yacht, and no one ever takes it. This is the second graphical update for the Pathfinder. Originally it looked a little bit different. It has since been updated significantly. Of course, this is also not the final variation of the ship. Yes, there is a fleet variant, but that's not what I'm really talking about. Stupid thing. There she is. All it does is just add another tactical console. The ship has never been actually very good at the whole shooting DPS thing. Perhaps fittingly. After all, Voyager's history has always been, if you can't outfight it, outrun it. Which certainly fits. That said, this is no longer the ultimate Voyager. Where is she? Ah, there she is. We have visual contact. Yeah, I doubt anyone would get that reference. The Miracle Worker version of the Intrepid, a multi-mission science vessel, which also includes the Warship Voyager skin. Yeah, the Kyrians of the 31st century had some interesting ideas. 25 torpedo tubes, 30 torpedo tubes, 25 phaser banks. That's interesting. A good warship retrofit, perhaps to give it more tactical viability, but that's about it. Really, though, it's more useful because it can not only mount cannons, it has a universal console. It also unlocks every skin for the Intrepid, so if you don't have the Tier 6 version, you can use the Pathfinder if you want to. It also comes with every console, which is a bit of a money saver. It also finally has the ability to launch fighter pets as a multi-mission science vessel. That said, this is also no longer the only top-tier version of the ship. The Trailblazer, recently released with the 12th anniversary bundle. Between the two, this is more tactically viable. One, finally, the consoles are mostly tactical biased. And it has a 4th weapon slot, finally giving this thing some more actual DPS capabilities outside of space magic. It also includes a few skins. The Warship Voyager, ISS Voyager, at long last. the Mirror Pathfinder. The proper Mirror Intrepid. And the normal Trailblazer. But everyone's always interested in the mirror stuff. So, Mirror Trailblazer will stick to. Let's see. What is the best variant? I'm kind of biased towards the Terran Trailblazer, to be honest. One, it has 7 weapon slots, meaning you can finally start shooting at things, instead of having to rely on either a fighter pet or science capabilities. Again, this is my own personal opinion because I'm not a science driver. I don't fly science ships. I shoot things. But for any all 3 Ultimate Intrepids, the Fleet version, the Legendary version, and this, are more suited for science drivers. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.